Goodness gracious. My subscribers are going the wrong way. Look right here. Subscribe now or I have to get a real job. In this video, I'm going to break down Naoya Inoue, the monster, his win over Stephen Fulton. If that sounds good, stay right here. Let's watch the new and improved intro. So the monster Inoue defeated Stephen Fulton, and as you can expect, we will not see very many reasonable takes, except for from reasonable people. By now, I don't think there's any doubt in anyone's mind that Naoya Inoue is a Hall of Famer. He's moved up now 4 weight classes, picked up world titles in each division, and essentially beat the best fighters except for in super flyweight, which he basically just had a cup of coffee there and left the division. His win over Jamie McDonald is still one of the most impressive that I have seen, because McDonald is a guy that I was fond of, and he treated him like he was basically a journeyman pro. Today, this morning, which really fun, to be honest with you, breaks up the monotony of like boxing coverage life and also having a job. Waking up at 5 a.m. to watch a prize fight coming in the second round. What we saw was a really, really good fighter in Stephen Fulton. In fact, I think Fulton fought the best fight of his career. The problem is he fought an all-time great. He fought a Hall of Famer. He fought someone who, I don't know what the reach was. I heard Tim Bradley, it's early in the morning, he was saying he's a smaller man. I don't know if the reach was that. But what we saw, oftentimes people look at an offensive fighter and they'll go, okay, offensive fighter, he doesn't know how to box. And it's very naive to think that way. Stephen Fulton, to me, fought the best fight he's ever fought as a pro. The problem was the timing, the accuracy, and Inoue's ability to make himself long. And what I mean by that is that he was able to really extend each punch. And when he extended each shot, he was able to get the maximum distance, which creates the maximum force, which also allowed him to be, maybe in theory, I haven't looked at the tape because I came in late to the fight, the guy that had arguably the shorter reach, but he was able to out-jab or outland a quote-unquote bigger fighter. Honestly, when you looked at both of these guys, Fulton didn't look that much bigger than him. He was just more accustomed to the 122 weight class. What I saw was a fighter in Inoue who systematically broke down Fulton, made Fulton have to fight a fight that we haven't really seen Fulton comfortable fighting. Fulton hasn't always been a guy that wants to come forward. Fulton wants to pick his spots, take walks, outpoints you, and then look to land very good shots. I think people often, and I saw a video where they said, if you itch your head, you're lying. I swear to you, I'm not lying. This is my sincere thoughts. Is Fulton is a guy who has more power than people think. It's just he's fought really, really good competition coming up. This was a levels fight coming in to me. I had said that in my preview video. The Inoue overrated. I'd gone on Ring Gang Radio. I thought the fight would be stopped in 7 rounds. Got 8. Look, we could sit up here about fight predictions and previews. Everyone wants to be right, and guess what? Half of the time you're wrong. So acting like your genius predictor guy, it's pretty lame, because there's going to be a point where I'm completely off, and then I have to either look like an insecure guy and be like, oh my God, I swear I'm not insecure. I swear. Or you go, well, that's just the way the cookie crumbles in the jungle. The big thing about Inoue is he's special. This is a fighter that we don't typically see in boxing. This is a zebra. This is a unicorn. Right now, we have 3 all-time greats. Currently, we actually have 4, but the super top tier of fighters, in my opinion, based on their willingness to compete and what they're doing. I look at Inoue, Usyk, the winner of Spence Crawford is in that conversation, and Dimitri Bivol. You could rank any of those 4 guys as the best fighter. Even Fury, but Fury not taking interesting fights kind of knocks him out of that tier for me. But those 4 guys, to me, are kind of all do amazing elite things at the highest level of the sport, have picked up big wins that have shocked the world. In a way, to me, I don't know if we ever see him in the United States. It seems like he's a huge star in Japan. It seems like he's very willing to fight on these Tuesday morning cards on the West Coast and do his thing. He's special. And to see the way he's able to time and land these big shots on a world-class fighter, like, the problem I think that's going to happen is there's two problems for Inoue. One of which is, say, about 30% of the media now are fans who are passionate, which is good. It's good to have passion. It's good to be fans. But the problem with fans are they enter fights with possibly fixed beliefs, and they enter it with passion. Stephen Fulton's a very good fighter, and it doesn't diminish him that he lost to an all-time great fighter in Inoue. But sadly, I feel like there's going to be, over the next couple of hours, we're recording this right after the stoppage, 8th round stoppage, where you're going to see people trying to discredit Inoue, which is pretty lame, but that's just the world we live in. We live in the world of non-technical analysis. I'm sure you're going to see a lot of people who are not experts at hand wrapping giving you analysis on the hand wraps. I'm sure people are going to come up with ways to slander and defame Inoue's name about his power. It's going to be pretty gross. And also, I think there's going to be another subsection that doesn't understand how good Fulton is. Fulton is the best guy at 122 pounds. That being said, I think if we're being completely honest, he's a guy who picked up 2 world titles, but he's still a bit unproven at the highest level. To me, he's a very good unified world champion, but he was picked for a reason. That was my initial feeling in this. He was picked for a reason because he's kind of unproven. He was an X Factor. He's got all the talent. He's taken a hard road to get to this point. He beat Angelo Leo to win the belt. He beat Brandon Figueroa in a razor-thin close fight that I think probably should have gone to Figueroa, but there's no sense harping on it. But when you look at the 2 resumes, he was the person that had to kind of step his game up. He had to kind of level up in this world title fight, and it felt as though this big fight was kind of created as this is a way for you to get a lot of money. This is a fight for you to get a big legacy fight. And for Inoue, I think that he felt like this was the best guy there, and that it was a doable fight. Now he stopped Fulton, who many people thought was going to be too big for him. Maybe Fulton won 1 round, but what we really saw was what makes Inoue really, really good is he has really, really good timing, and he has really good fundamentals, and he makes you stop punching. So what I also saw in this fight was Inoue has that trait that these all-time great fighters like Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao have, where midway through a fight or 4 rounds in, you're going, why isn't the other guy fighting? And it's because whenever they throw punches, they're missing and they're getting hit really hard. So they're more content to not take as many chances. Fulton's best punches I saw him land were when he overextended himself and he was taking risks, which I think speaks to the heart of him, because what he was doing fundamentally wasn't working. The only time he was landing when he was landing untraditional kind of sloppy shots that I'm sure Inoue didn't expect him to throw, which means that basically Fulton has that dog in him. Fulton was trying to win at any cost, and that's pretty awesome to see, especially in a top-level pugilist. Fulton's still going to be a really good fighter. Fulton might be a Hall of Fame fighter. I think that the problem with this fight always coming in was the expectation. The expectation was this was going to be Donaire versus Fulton. I think even at this point, maybe not now, but when Donaire fought Inoue, him versus Fulton was a very, very close fight, if that had happened at 122. The guys that are going to give Inoue problems are going to be the punchers. I don't see, unless someone's way too big for him, a boxer giving him those issues. So for me, what's great about this fight is both guys are going to leave as stars. Both guys are going to leave as bigger names in the sport of boxing. Stephen Fulton has had 3 or 4 main event cards that have gone under the radar. I think every time he fights from now on, people should be aware of him. If anyone disrespects him, they're just a jerk. But boxing has a bunch of really mean-spirited people that just like to rub stuff into people's face. And Inoue is a fighter where if you don't see what he's doing is great, you probably have some form of an agenda, or you don't want to like him, because what he is doing is really unprecedented. He's beating really, really top level fighters. He's stopping fighters that never get stopped. And in this fight, what I saw was to me, he's always felt like the modern remix of Nonito Donaire, a small man going up in weight. Like he's the small man that never feels smaller than the other man. It's like in this fight, I was looking at it and I thought Fulton was the littler man. That's how big Inoue is. And he started at 108 pounds, skipped 112, went to 115. 4-division world champion, now unified. He's probably going to fight Taples at the end of the year, more than likely, and become the undisputed. It's by 2024, he's probably going to be in the featherweight division. That's the kind of fighter we're looking at. I mean, when we really look at it, why was Robeisy Ramirez on this card? Realistically, Robeisy Ramirez is probably on this card because not too far in the future, Inoue is probably going to fight Robeisy Ramirez. That's like probably a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. These are the two best guys around the same weight, and this is going to be the real fight. Now that kind of gets me the excitement of the Fulton Inoue fight. I never saw this fight being anything more than the way it played out. And I'm sorry to anyone that if you feel disappointed, but this was a levels fight. And sometimes boxing has levels, and that's what this fight kind of came down to. Final thoughts on Inoue. Reminds me of Nonito Donaire, like I said, but I also wanted to give my friend Chris Lightning Lopez credit. He's got elements of Chavez. Chavez Sr., that is. He won't wow you. He won't wow you with the way he throws punches, but he's very astute and able to land the right shots, very short shots, very compact shots, over and over while implementing what he wants to do. Now, in this fight, obviously, he didn't come forward as much, but to me, I see a little comparison to Chavez, and I see a comparison to Nonito Donaire. Obviously, the easy comparison is Manny Pacquiao, because they both moved up in weights, but their styles are so friggin' different that's just kind of, if you want to just say stuff. But this is my overreaction right after the fight. Maybe I'm a little tired. Let me know about this light setup. I'm playing with the lights to give you the best content, and I'll see you in the next video.